Have you ever looked up at the sky and wondered which company builds the aircraft flying above? For decades, it was almost always Boeing. The name was synonymous with innovation, American engineering, and aviation dominance. But today, that story is changing, and fast. Airbus, the European aerospace giant, is quietly, yet decisively, redefining the future of flight. While Boeing grapples with crisis after crisis, Airbus is stacking billion-dollar deals, earning passenger trust, and building the aircraft of tomorrow. So how did this shift happen? Why are airlines from Tokyo to Texas ditching Boeing for Airbus? And what does it all mean for the planes we fly, the prices we pay, and the safety we expect? Buckle up, because the battle for the skies has entered a new phase, and it's Airbus that's climbing fast. Quick pause before we dive deep. If you're enjoying the insights already, tap that like button and share this video with a fellow aviation enthusiast or frequent flyer. Let's keep this conversation flying. Every 2 years, the Paris Air Show draws the biggest names in aviation. It's not just a trade show, it's a battleground. And in 2025, Airbus didn't just win. It dominated. With $21 billion in new contracts and 780 aircraft orders, Airbus stunned the world. Boeing, not a single major deal. Not one. The silence from the once mighty American manufacturer said it all. The balance of power has shifted, and the skies are now painted with Airbus wings. It wasn't a fluke. Airlines across Asia, Europe, and the Americas are making long-term bets, and Airbus is winning those bets. Deutsche Bank now estimates Boeing could lose up to 62% of the narrow-body market, the bread and butter of commercial aviation. Airbus's A320neo and A321XLR are not only more fuel-efficient and eco-friendly, they're showing up on time. Boeing, on the other hand, is plagued by delays, lawsuits, and an even worse problem, declining trust. And in aviation, trust is everything. The 737 MAX tragedies weren't just accidents, they were turning points. The crashes in 2018 and 2019 shook public confidence and revealed a deeper issue, a corporate culture that put deadlines and stock prices above passenger safety. The MCOS system, lack of pilot training, and withheld information led to 346 lives lost. The result? A global grounding that lasted 19 months. But the MAX was just the beginning. Structural issues in the 787 Dreamliner, delivery delays for the 777X, and the uncertified MAX 10 have all kept Boeing in the headlines for the wrong reasons. And every headline chips away at public confidence. Planes aren't just planes anymore, they're a climate statement. In today's world, airlines aren't just choosing jets, they're choosing compliance. Emissions, fuel burn, and carbon credits matter more than ever. And here, Airbus is far ahead. The A321XLR, for example, is changing the game. It's a narrow body that flies like a long-haul wide body, for 1,700 nautical miles on 30% less fuel per seat. JetBlue, American Airlines, Indigo, and Qantas have all locked in massive orders. Why? Because flying greener now saves money later and keeps airlines within emissions regulations. What do you think? Is Boeing just going through a rough patch, or are we watching the rise of a new global leader? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. Let's talk about the Airbus A350, arguably the most advanced commercial plane flying today. Built with over 50% carbon composites, lighter, stronger, and running on sustainable fuel options, it's tailor-made for the compliance age. Its performance on ultra-long-haul routes makes it the go-to for airlines with global ambitions. Meanwhile, Boeing's 777X has missed multiple deadlines. Even Emirates, once Boeing's biggest customer, is cutting orders and shifting to Airbus. That speaks volumes. In 2025 alone, Airbus delivered 243 aircraft, edging out Boeing's 220. But it's not just about quantity, it's about momentum and confidence. Airbus is ramping up production across Europe and the US, sourcing parts from a diverse and politically neutral supply chain. Boeing, meanwhile, is tangled in legal issues, supply chaos, and international scrutiny. Regulators no longer take Boeing's word at face value, and even routine certifications now raise eyebrows. And that brings us to the most important stakeholder in aviation, the passenger. People now Google, "What plane am I flying on?" before they book. A 2024 passenger survey revealed something stunning. Over 40% of travelers check the plane model before buying tickets, and a majority of those say they actively avoid the 737 MAX. That's not a techie trend. That's middle-aged business travelers, families, and retirees taking safety into their own hands. This isn't just about market share. It's about trust, and Boeing is losing it. Thanks to tighter emissions regulations in Europe and Asia, older, less efficient aircraft are becoming liabilities. Airbus's newer fleet, especially the A350 and A321XLR, help airlines dodge carbon taxes and secure prime landing slots in heavily regulated airports. And when Qantas launched Project Sunrise, its ambitious plan to fly nonstop from Sydney to London or New York, it didn't even consider Boeing. Airbus was the only company able to deliver a jet that could meet the fuel, range, and emissions goals. That's not just a win, it's a warning. Airlines like Emirates, Turkish Airlines, KLM, and even Air India are restructuring their fleets around Airbus. American carriers are diversifying too. JetBlue is leaning Airbus heavy, while United and Delta hedge their bets. The message is clear. No one wants to be left grounded when the next Boeing delay hits. Airbus isn't just building aircraft, it's building an ecosystem. From hydrogen-ready systems to smart maintenance diagnostics and digital flight optimization tools, Airbus jets are future-proofed for 2030 and beyond. Boeing, in contrast, is still playing catch-up, both in technology and in rebuilding trust. Let's not forget, Boeing gave us the 747, the Dreamliner, the 777. These are legends, icons, but nostalgia doesn't move markets. Airlines now need carbon efficiency, regulatory reliability, and seamless delivery. Right now, only Airbus is meeting those needs. For Boeing, it's do or die. The company must transform, from its culture to its compliance practices, or risk becoming a relic. This is not just a market shift. It's a paradigm shift. Airlines, passengers, and regulators are all aligned. They want cleaner, safer, more efficient aircraft. Loyalty to logos doesn't matter. What matters is performance, on the ground, in the air, and on the emissions chart. Airbus is delivering. Boeing is promising. The Airbus-Boeing rivalry was once a two-horse race. Now, it looks like Airbus is in the lead, and Boeing is running out of runway. This isn't about East versus West. It's about evolution. Airbus is winning the future because it's building for the future. And in an industry where safety, compliance, and trust are non-negotiable, that's the only path to stay airborne. If you found this video insightful, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the shifting tides of global power and industry. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.